There are watches that demand your attention the moment they hit your wrist. And then there are watches like this, that almost seem to ask you to slow down before you even check the time. Because this isn't a watch meant to impress you with specs, or win you over with shock value, or compete for attention in a crowded room. In fact, if you even approach this watch with calipers in hand, you might have already missed the point. This is the Vacheron Constantin Traditionnelle Perpetual Calendar Ultra Thin. And in a year filled with anniversary fireworks and technical flexing, this may be the most confident watch that Vacheron has released by saying almost nothing at all. As a final crescendo before year's end, Vacheron Constantin quietly unveiled a trio of new anniversary models to celebrate their 270th. A trio of Traditionnelle Perpetual Calendar ultra-thin models, each one rooted in balance, restraint, and a deep understanding of what the Maison stands for. Earlier this year, Vacheron reminded the world of what it can do with the Solaria Ultra Grand Complication, a technical statement piece meant to command headlines. But this watch does the exact opposite. Instead of flexing muscle, it carries weight that comes from centuries of refinement rather than innovation for innovation's sake. But to understand where this watch fits in today, we first have to look back into Vacheron's history, as perpetual calendars have long been one of the most respected proving grounds in traditional watchmaking. On paper, the task seems simple: track days, months, and leap years without correction. However, in practice, it is one of the most demanding complications to execute cleanly, beautifully, and most important, reliably. Vacheron Constantin has been here before though. As early as 1884, the Maison was producing perpetual calendar pocket watches, and notably, complications like this help sustain the brand during its most difficult periods. Just as important though is the ultra-thin design. Vacheron has a long and very real relationship with thinness, from record-setting pocket watch movements in the early 20th century to its legendary caliber 1003 in 1955. Rarely though do these two pursuits, ultra-thin construction and high complication, meet in one measured piece. At the heart of this watch is the caliber 1120 QP. First introduced in 1983, this movement is somewhat of a legend, often credited with helping reignite interest in high-end complicated watchmaking after the quartz crisis. Its architecture traces back to the famed JLC 920 base, shared with icons like the Royal Oak 5402, the Nautilus 3700, and Vacheron's own 222. Dimensionally, it remains astonishing. The base movement measures in at just 2.45 millimeters thick, with the perpetual calendar module adding only 1.6 millimeters for a total of just 4.05 millimeters in total thickness. Specs here are almost besides the point, but for context, it does operate at the lower beat rate of 2.75 Hz with an adequate 40 hours of power reserve. What does matter though is what you see through the caseback. Côte de Genève, hand beveling bridges, polished teeth, a Geneva seal, and an open work 22 karat gold rotor shaped like a Maltese cross. It doesn't shout, yet glows as light pours through that open sapphire caseback and plays with the depths of the different finishing techniques. The gold case here measures in at 36.5 millimeters in diameter, with a 44.2 millimeter lug to lug and a thickness of just 8.5 millimeters, placing it somewhere in between its 80s contemporaries in the modern age. On paper, that might sound small, but on wrist it does feel intentional. The step Traditionnelle case architecture adds structure and presence without bulk, as polished surfaces allow light to fade away from the bezel, subtly shifting focus towards the dial and its depth. The pink gold here is warm, restrained, and weighty, though never flashy nor apologetic. At 3, a generously sized crown with deep grooves and a Maltese cross signature adds a tactile counterpoint, while discreet correctors sit flush against the case's flanks. Despite the refinements, the case doesn't feel precious in a fragile sense, it just feels confident. And although my time with the watch was somewhat brief, during that period it rarely left my wrist. Despite my larger wrists, it never felt diminutive. Instead, it occupied space the way it should. The lugs curve gently downwards, with the weight of the gold reminding you that it's there just often enough, yet otherwise disappearing underneath a cuff with ease. There's something interesting about how this watch changes your behavior. You move a bit slower, you notice the dial longer, and you match its pace without seeming to realize it. Even the strap, dark blue alligator with a matte finish, leans into the understated confidence, terminating at a matching pink gold tang buckle. And yes, even the spring bars hiding inside of the strap are made from pink gold. Why? I have no idea, but I found it out when trying it on a nylon strap. Why again? No clue. The silver opaline dial has a powdery, light-absorbing quality that rewards patience. Applied pink gold indices and Dauphine's hands sit confidently against it, using light sparingly and deliberately. The perpetual calendar layout is classic Vacheron, balanced, architectural, immediately legible despite its complexity, and the moon phase quietly steals the show. A polished moon floating against a blue field, framed in a pink gold outer edge, adds just enough emotion to an otherwise disciplined composition. It's not necessarily minimal, yet it is controlled. This watch is not chasing trends, it's not pushing boundaries, and it's not really trying to convince you of anything. And some may be quick to call out the case as being a little bit on the plain side, the movement as being slightly outdated, and the price point as being obviously high. It is a perpetual calendar in a precious metal after all. But when you take a step back and you really start to look at what this watch means, it is a watch for those who value heritage without nostalgia, complexity without spectacle, and craftsmanship without excess. It would have been easy for Vacheron Constantin to end its 270th anniversary with a crash of the cymbals. Instead, this is the final note before that held rest. It is controlled, confident, deliberate in the silence that follows. But those are just my thoughts on the new Vacheron Constantin QP, and I would love to know your thoughts in that comment section down below. While you're down there, please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out. And we have more reviews just like this one coming up in the near future, and a few that we just published. So if you're interested in those, please do go back and check those out. But with all of that being said, I know that your time is very valuable, and I really do appreciate you spending some of it with me here. I will be back very soon with another video, but until then, thank you for being here.